Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We have got out today. We're at the tail end of a storm and it's sprinkling right now, but I think it's supposed to end. So we're gonna jump out on the water. We're gonna fish a bait that I used to rely on so much in tournaments and don't fish that much at the moment anymore. And I don't know why that is. And that's the Suijin blade, the Scrounger, and the one that I really like is the Suijin, and this is the one that Aaron Martins dominated. Man, he dominated with it and had so many really high finishes. And if you're not familiar with what a Scrounger is, it's a jig head with a bill, and that bill basically turns your bait almost into like a crankbait. And one of the keys to this bait, in my opinion, that's so good with it is you get that contrasting color. You know, so many people with a minnow right now are talking about how you need to have it roll, and that roll is so that you get that contrasting color of the minnow going from side to side, really. And in this case, it does it just on the straight retrieve for you. So I'm gonna head out. I know this lake has generally been good to me in the past, fishing a Scrounger style bait, and I'm gonna get out today and do a little bit of it. We're gonna throw the Berkeley drip swimmer. This will be perfect on it. One of the most lifelike looking minnows on the market. So we're gonna rig this up. I'm gonna put you away for 1 minute, I think, because it is starting to rain a little bit harder. Let me get this rigged up and show you, and hopefully we'll get out of the water. The weatherman said we would be fine. That thing's gonna crush them. Okay, I'm gonna put you away real quick so you don't get wet. Gosh, came back for it. Such a fun bite. The Scrounger has been around for a really long time. You know, I think Aaron Martins was the big one behind it in terms of getting it to really take off and showing how versatile it is. Man, I mean, you know, at this point, the Scrounger has been used for everything. Fishing flats, fishing bridges, fishing you know, deep ledges. I mean, there's Scroungers for all different shapes and sizes, and it's just such a really good natural bait. It just gives the bait a good natural swimming motion, and you know, it can be used so many different ways. It can be used by beginners if you just want to straight retrieve it. If you want to start popping it, giving it some motion, you can do all of that just to get it to generate those strikes. But really good bait. I'm really disappointed in the weatherman. I don't know why I continue to put so much confidence in the weatherman. They said by now it would be done raining. It stopped raining. I got in the boat, shot the intro, started raining, put the camera away, stopped raining, and it looked like it was supposed to be done, and now it started raining again. So I'm hoping we don't have to put the camera away. There's one. That one feels really nice. It hit that right away. They're so cold. Ah, he's not that big. Not nearly as big as I thought the way he hit it. So a couple of things too I want to point out with the Scrounger. So this is the small bill. It looks like he took my tail from the drip swimmer. It'll work just fine that way. Actually, it'll probably work even better with the small bill, but you got to recognize there's different size bills. You can buy the short bills, you can buy them bigger bills, and what you'll get is a tighter wobble with the smaller bill and a much bigger wobble with the larger bill. So from that standpoint, you know, depending on time of year, the conditions, you know, in clear cold water, I generally like the small bill. If I'm fishing summer months or ledges, I like the bigger bills. You know, I like to get a lot more motion depending on the bait that you're throwing. You know, if you're throwing a straight tail minnow, which is what I recommend with most of the Scroungers, you know, and I know the drip swimmer's got just a little tail on it, but basically, you know, your straight tail minnows will get the best rolling motion. If you go with a boot tail, it'll kind of kill some of that Suijin rolling motion, but you know, depending on what you're looking for, maybe you want the boot tail with that side to side rolling motion. Yeah, I knew that was a fish. That's a decent one. It just started stopping and going a little bit. I just changed back to a tail, to a drip swimmer. He got my tail too. That's what we're throwing, the 4-inch black shad drip swimmer. First pass I made was up shallower, up on top of the flat, and 3 foot of water. Now I'm fishing down in that 6-7 foot. With that cold water, a lot of times they don't want to come up for it. So you got to keep it down in the strike zone for them. Came back for it. Okay. Not a giant. I like when they come back for it. I like when they come back a lot for it. I feel like this retrieve, we just switched to it and they really seem to be eating it, where it's, you know, I'm just letting it go to the bottom and then I'm burning the handle a couple of times. Almost, this is basically how I like to fish them when I'm ledge fishing. You know, I'm throwing big, heavy ones down 20 foot of water, but you're almost fishing it just like a hair jig. Just throw it out just like that. Thank you, fish. That was right on cue. You burn it and then just kill it. Let it fall back to the bottom, burn it, kill it, burn it, kill it. And not anything difficult, but it really comes down to figuring out how they want it. And you know, I made a pass a little shallower where I was fishing it much more just kind of like a swim bait, you know, just straight retrieving it. And I had 1 or 2 bites, and generally when you straight retrieve it, you still want to mix in some pops and some pauses and stuff. But another great way to do it is you let it go to the bottom, just like I am now, and then, you know, burn it a few times, just like a hair jig. Another way I really like to fish it is just like a chatterbait. If you've got some grass and you want to deflect off of it, chatterbait is really similar to, like, a Suijin is what I would describe. Ooh, there was one. Oh, man, he didn't have it. The Suijin is what I would consider very similar to like a finesse chatterbait, I guess. You know, a lot of people really like to fish a chatterbait without the skirt. Well, then you basically got something really similar to the Suijin when you do that. You know, so especially like in clear water environments, or pressured environments, great places to throw it. And I mean, we've had, I don't know how many bites now, 4 or 5 bites, I feel like, in just a couple of minutes of switching over. And that's how critical it is to figure out what the fish want. And they want to tell you. I mean, right here in Wisconsin right now, and this guy's getting pretty beaten up. You know, it's middle April, so our ice has only been off for a couple of weeks, and we have not had warm weather really since then. So we're got water in the 40s. The fish are, you know, they're active, they're aggressive, but they're still not like super aggressive, if that makes sense. Like, you got to keep the bait in their wheelhouse. So like, oh, that was one. Oh, he just came off. Dang it. So what I was saying is, it's not like they're gonna come, even though I'm only fishing like 6 foot of water. If I'm not, it feels like right now, based on making that little change, if I'm not in their wheelhouse, they're not gonna come up and get it. So I got to keep the bait down where they're at, and they're on the bottom right now. You know, that's one thing. In cold water situations, I feel like the fish very much relate to the bottom. You know, that's where you have more warmth. A lot of times the ground is actually warmer than the water itself, so the fish are staying tight to it. That's where, when the sun, not the sun's out right now, but when the sun is out, objects are going to grab that heat, so the fish want to be down there. And we don't have the shad and the bait fish populations that you have down south, where you have a lot of pelagic style fish. The fish around here are much more, you know, bottom orientated. They're feeding on bluegill, they're feeding on crayfish. There was one. Oh man, we've got a little hole here, guys. Or I really screwed up by not switching to this retrieve sooner. But even these fish, I mean, they're just not, they're popping it, but they're not, they're just cold, lethargic fish. Come on, come back for it. So it's on the bottom. Crank it. And I'm just line watching when I'm doing that. From a rod and reel standpoint, you fish on a lot of different gear. You know, a lot of it really comes down to what type of bait you want to throw and how deep you're fishing. These are all just little guys, but this is fun. All 13, 14 inchers. So, you know, obviously if you want to throw big 3/4 ouncers, you can do that, but you probably want to have some heavier tackle. You know, if you're throwing a little one like I've got, this is a 3/0 1/4 ounce Suijin. From that standpoint, then, you know, you could fish it on spinning gear. I personally prefer to fish it on bait casting gear, and I'm throwing it just on some traditional normal bait, all-purpose bait casting gear. It's the MHX NMB 874 rod, so that's a medium heavy fast action 7.3 rod. It's not a you know, super heavy or super light, but if I was throwing a smaller Suijin or a much heavier Suijin, I might go with a heavier power rod, or I might go even with spinning gear. You know, in this case, I've got 12-pound 100% Berkeley fluorocarbon on this, and I've got a Xenon, Abu Garcia Xenon MGX. This is a 8-speed, so it's a little bit faster, or I should say a fast reel, but I like faster reels in general. I'd much rather be able to impart more speed than go with the slow one, where if I want the speed, I got to really crank the handle fast. I feel like I can slow down easier than I can speed up, basically, is what I'm saying. Man, got you in the nose on the Suijin. Well, I think we might end it there. I looked in the weatherman got it wrong again, guys. There is another storm coming. I'm still pretty wet, and I'm cold. It's cold out. So we're gonna end it right there. You should have some Suijins. If you haven't fished the Scrounger before, you really should give it a try. It's a phenomenal bait, and it's very, very versatile. Pick up some of the Berkeley power bait drip swimmers, put it on the back of the Suijin. Go to work. Go to work. You'll catch some fish, that's for sure. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go warm up. I appreciate all of your support. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.